What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Stop Lounge. This is episode number 15, where me and Malcolm, as always, your hosts, we will be talking about the Silverstone Grand Prix. How are you, bro?
I'm alright, bro. Thank you. Starting a new week. Had a pretty nice weekend. Went to the beach. Again. Weather is now sitting lovely after a pretty gusty few couple days last
Yeah.
week. So we needed this.
My word.
Yes, but other than that, pretty good, pretty solid. How are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, man. A pretty slow weekend. Obviously, we've had the Euros as well, not just Formula One. But pretty slow weekend. Same as you. Went to the beach. Took spent like around 2 weeks not going to the beach, so felt great to be back there. Obviously, summer now it's kicking in big time. We're
Heat
now in
wave
the
now.
second week of July.
Yeah, heat wave is on now.
Yeah, the heat wave is on big time, guys. So if you're living in these Mediterranean countries or somewhere in Europe, stay safe. Apply sunscreen or whatever. If you
And
can
stay
stay
hydrated,
outside,
bro.
and
Stay hydrated always.
and hydration is absolutely key. And before we begin, guys, as per usual, hit us on our socials, like and follow, share, Facebook, Instagram, and for Spotify listeners, hit us up with a rating and let us know your thoughts on each question on each question we release on each episode. We really appreciate your feedback. And
Always.
without further ado, let us begin today's episode where, as mentioned, we will be talking about the Silverstone Grand Prix. But before we get into that, some news of the track, more driver announcements for next season. City season is still going on. Last week we've had two new drivers extend their contracts. And this week we have a new driver coming into the Formula One next season, and that is Oliver Bearman, the Ferrari's test driver who had a memorable debut race early on in the season in
Back in
Jeddah.
Jeddah.
He is now officially joining Haas next season, replacing Nico Hulkenberg, and this is probably the worst kept secret in recent memory. This news has been coming for a long, long time. Oli has been linked with Haas since even since the start of the season, pretty much, and we all knew this was coming. Haas were looking like the team that we're going to secure they're going to secure him for the season, and now it's official. I'm going to start with you, bro. I think it's well deserved.
Fully.
It's well deserved. I mean,
Fully.
it's not. We're not going to just judge from Jeddah itself, but as a
Not
whole,
really.
Oli deserves a chance to be in Formula One this season. I think he's going to be in the perfect team. I think.
And that fits perfectly within the Ferrari program. Let's not forget that Haas is a works team for Ferrari. They supply the engines.
Yeah.
So for Oliver Bearman, he's still within that Ferrari cloud, so to speak.
Yeah.
And with Carlos Sainz departing the team, Lewis Hamilton taking over next season, and Charles Leclerc, he might be the new heir for Ferrari in the future. Who knows?
Yeah.
But the fact that he's going to Haas, replacing Nico Hulkenberg for next season, just like you said, it's the worst kept secret. But one that is fully deserved, one that we're really looking forward to from Oliver Bearman, and also kickstarting this, keep on with this new kickstart of breath of fresh air after Gunther Steiner keeping on going.
Yeah, and considering how Haas are performing at the moment, they're literally on a high. So
Absolutely.
Unlike most contract announcements, what we've had previously, this seems like to be the perfect timing to announce this move, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously he's replaced.
But at the moment, but sorry to cut you off, but even so, he is replacing Nico Hulkenberg. Great replacement, but also to the driver who's performing the most for Haas.
Yeah.
At the moment, so it's kind of eerie, no?
Kind of mixed bag at the moment,
Yeah, kind of mixed.
Listen, Oli has big shoes to fill in at Haas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously,
He's not gonna have that much pressure. The pressure is still on. The pressure is always on in Formula One, no doubt. But it's not like to say, for example, let's remember when Charles Leclerc was with Alfa Romeo. The pressure was there, but not as pressurous as pressure is a word, not that much pressure. Like when he went to Ferrari to team up with Sebastian Vettel. It's gonna be pressure, but not as much. He's gonna be with Kevin Magnussen if Kevin Magnussen, of course, retains his seat for Haas next season.
Yes,
We'll
and
have to wait and see on
I
that.
think I think even the pairing itself, I think it's a great match. You have a rookie and someone who's
With
very well,
experience.
who has experience in the sport. So I think Kevin Magnussen is going to be a good. I think Oli Bearman will get the experience from Kevin. I think he obviously he's still very much new to the sport, despite racing just a single race this season. I think he's going to learn quite a lot from Kevin Magnussen and also
Yeah.
Haas in general. So just to wrap up on Oli Bearman, I think this is a good deal for him.
Good.
Obviously, this news has been coming for a long time. He's been rumored ever since pretty much the start of the season. And those seats, bro, they are running
They're
out.
filling up.
They
They're
are
filling
filling
up.
And I'm looking at Williams. I'm looking at and I'm even looking at Sauber, and even who else has the seats left? I think Ferrari and Mclaren are
Ferrari and said it. Mercedes with Hamilton still open.
I'm guessing Kimi Antonelli will go there though.
Probably. Probably.
I think Kimi Antonelli is going to Mercedes, but I mean Esteban Ocon and Carlos Sainz at the moment they must be scratching their heads because
I think Esteban Ocon should be scratching his head even more than Carlos
him
Sainz.
is even worse. But Carlos Sainz,
I'd be shocked if Ocon gets a seat and Sainz is left out. I'd be so shocked, bro.
I would be really amazed to be honest
I would be shocked.
if he gets a seat over than Sainz. But yeah, bro. Like I said, those seats are filling up. The more weeks the more the weeks pass by, and I think we're gonna see more and more changes.
At least till the end of the season.
I
I think just before the end of the season, I think we'll have a pretty good idea of how the grid lineup's gonna be next season.
I think my guess is probably going to be another rookie coming in one of those teams. I think either Kimi Antonelli or Jack Doohan are gonna get a seat in F1 with Alpine and Mercedes. My guess is will definitely.
I think the best bet for the teams, I think Jack Doohan should take the seat at Alpine.
Yeah.
And Carlos Sainz does a Mossa Cobra, how we say it in Maltese,
Yes.
does a Mossa Cobra and goes to Mercedes.
I mean, George Russell won't be the happiest of bunnies there, let's be honest.
But listen, this Mercedes, how it's performing right now, I think Carlos Sainz may be going,
Yeah.
that looks a bit interesting. I might have some of that.
Especially after this weekend.
Absolutely. Since Canada, Mercedes have been crazy, bro.
Nah, they've been on steroids at the moment. They're literally doing a similar route like McLaren did last season, but I think it's even it took
It's better.
An earlier stage, yeah. Yeah, but bro, I think your thoughts on Oli Bearman, not surprised, well-deserved seat. He's a very talented driver, and we're finally going to see another exciting driver next season. Flexing his muscles into F1. I believe Haas is
Hey, at least he ain't no Mazepin, bro.
Nah, he's definitely no.
At least he ain't no Mazepin, so.
No, definitely not. No, absolutely not. All right, so that is it related to the driver announcements. And bro, I'm not sure if you're a movie guy or sort for, but we also got our first look at the Formula One movie coming out next year, starring Brad Pitt. Now, obviously, for those who know, I'm a massive movie buff. I watch a shit ton of movies and even shows. So, this one, I'm really intrigued to go watch it. From the director of Top Gun Maverick. So he knows I know exactly.
That had pretty good reviews, didn't it?
Sorry.
That had pretty good reviews, didn't it, Top Gun Maverick?
Yeah, it got excellent reviews. I mean, that's pretty much, just to go a bit off topic very quickly, that's the movie that saved cinemas, basically. It was released in the COVID pandemic, and it was such a box office hit, a mega box office hit, may I say. It pretty much saved cinemas, because from there on people started returning back to the cinemas, and it's all thanks to Top Gun Maverick. So this is a really interesting movie to look forward to. The trailer,
I know that the teaser trailer came up, but I didn't see it.
It was just like a 1 minute and 30-second trailer. It
was a teaser,
pretty much just before the race, basically, at pre-race. Brad Pitt is in this film. Javier Bardem, if you've watched No Country for Old Men and Skyfall, you know exactly which actor I'm talking about, basically. And this is basically Brad Pitt being in a Formula One team and just basically fighting for the championship. Look, it's going to be predictable.
Oh.
I've seen this underdog story time and time again. But listen, the trailer so far, I am not I'm not blown away by it. I'm loving the direction that of the shots. You should check it out, bro. By the way, I mean,
I will check it out after the show.
if you haven't seen it, yeah.
I'll check it out.
The song choice, I mean, to get "We Will Rock You" by Queen. Listen, I love Queen, but what "We Will Rock You" is such an overplayed song that
Generic, bro.
it's a generic song.
It's kind of generic.
In that trailer, yeah. But listen, the direction looks exquisite, even just from the cockpit view of the drivers, especially Brad Pitt's character. And even some of the drivers are going to make a cameo there. I mean, we've seen Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen and so forth. And even Gunther Steiner has
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, I seen that, bro.
I mean,
best shot of the trailer.
Obviously, he has to make an appearance. Listen, Gunther Steiner, as shit as he was in his job, he's a fan favorite. So I'm not really surprised he's involved in this film. But listen. As much as the trailer looks a little bit underwhelming so far, I'm still gonna see this movie. It's again. There's some A-list stars in this movie. It's directed by Joseph Kosinski, the guy who directed Top Gun Maverick. So I'm really, really looking forward to watch this movie. At the same time, from the trailers themselves, I'm not going to judge a movie by its trailer, but it looks a little bit underwhelming from the song choice and even from what we saw in general, even just the premise itself. But listen, I'm intrigued. A Formula One movie we don't get a lot these days, and with Formula One, the last one we've had was Rush. Which was really, really great. Fucking amazing film. If you haven't watched it, bro, watch that film.
Rush.
Basically.
I'm not really a movie kind of guy. I don't hate movies. I'm not really just a movie kind of guy.
Rush is basically about the 1976 Formula One season between Niki Lauda and James Hunt.
Yeah, I seen something on that. Yeah, I seen something. They did a meme about Niki Lauda.
Yes.
Like the car is fucking shit.
Yeah,
I seen the meme. Okay.
That scene. No, I highly recommend you to watch that film. It's a great film. And listen, it's a more sports film, so I'm really curious to see. I'm really curious to see what they're gonna do next. It will have a full release next summer of next year. So I think a lot of people are gonna be watching that film. I think it's gonna be a box office hit, and yeah. That's pretty much it on the Formula One movie. It's going to be called F1. How generic,
Yeah, just F1.
How generic is that? I'm not surprised if they change the title of the movie in the coming months. But yeah, really generic title. But
They should have named it like F1 Maverick or some shit like that. I don't know.
They're not gonna call it Maverick because of his.
Yeah, because of Top Gun Maverick. Yeah.
Of Top Gun Maverick, basically. But
yeah, but just an idea. Just an idea is all.
Anyway. No, but yeah, just to wrap it up. Looking forward to it. The trailer so far, not entirely blown away by it, but I think it's going to be a really fun time in the movies there, and you should watch it as well, bro. I think you should.
I'll give it a go. I haven't watched a movie in a long time, to be honest.
No, like me, I watch like about 7-8 movies every week, and so that's quite a lot. Yeah. All right, let's get into the weekend. Silverstone, one of the prestigious tracks in the F1 calendar. It's one of my personal favorite tracks as well. And this weekend, bro, it didn't disappoint. This is...
To me, it battles it with the Canadian Grand Prix. It was that entertaining, bro.
It gives Canada a pretty decent fight. This was a fantastic race, and even qualifying itself was very eventful. And we're gonna get into it very quickly.
Quick question.
Track, yeah?
That's what I was coming to. My thoughts on the track, yeah. I was looking just before the episode about the old layout, how the old layout of Silverstone was. You had when the club was the start finish straight. Then you go into a section where you go under a bridge, and then you go into Luffield, and that's where the start finish straight was.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest with you, yeah. I think I prefer the old layout. I prefer the old layout. I got used to the new layout now. I got used to it, but I think the old layout was more, let's say, fun.
I think it's a bit more controversial. I believe.
I don't know.
Layout, I'm not sure.
I don't know how it was. I don't know how it was perceived from the fans back then. All I know is that it got changed for some reason. I think it's for the better. I think it is for the better. But if I'm honest, I think I'd prefer the old layout. It's still a great circuit.
If they change it, it's definitely for the better, bro. So
No, it is for the better. It is for the better, and I like it. I like the new layout, of course,
yeah.
and it's been that way since 2011, I believe.
2011, yeah, I believe.
2011,
So,
2011, I believe. So from 2004 to 2009, it's seen some minor changes. I prefer the old layout, but the new layout, I got used to it and I like it. But regardless, overall, great track.
And it's a pretty long track as well. It's one of the longest tracks probably in the calendar. It's 52 laps long, and we've always had great tracks. I mean, the weather makes a big difference with this track. And once again, it was listen. I mean, when you're in the UK, expect rain. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty.
It doesn't matter if it's summer, winter, autumn, spring, bro. Rain is inevitable over
And
there.
we're in fucking July right now, so I mean,
That's the British summer for you.
It's raining cats and dogs basically in Silverstone. So, all right, bro. Before we get into the usual qualifying and the race, two teams pulled off special one-off liveries, and those are Red Bull and Williams. To start with Williams, basically same color scheme, just they put
The Union Jack in the engine cover area.
Like the premise, but it doesn't look great, isn't it?
Let's say generic. I'm gonna say generic.
Generic, yeah.
I'm gonna say generic. It is nice. It is always welcome, but it is generic. It is generic.
It's no Ferrari in Miami, basically.
In my opinion, it's better.
No, yeah, it's same here. But listen, nothing too special with regards.
But you don't need that much to beat Ferrari's Miami livery, bro. You don't need to do that much. So
No, absolutely.
I'm still not over it, man. And fuck you for reminding me, by the way. Fuck you for reminding me. I forgot about it, man.
Pleasure's mine, bro. Pleasure's mine. Now the second team is Red Bull, and this is why don't you give us your thoughts on it, bro?
Listen,
mixed as well.
yeah, it's not the worst, but not the best. It just has a bit of splashes of red here and there.
A bit too much color, I would say.
Nah, I mean, Miami's special livery was way better than this.
No, definitely, absolutely.
As in Red Bull's Miami special livery was way better than this.
It's called the Red Y, basically.
Red Y?
Red Y, yeah.
Y as in Y letter, you mean?
Yeah, Y letter.
Alright. I don't know why did they call it that.
No.
And apparently it's a special fan designed livery.
Yes.
A special fan designed livery, this one apparently. Now, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'm all for the teams involving the fans and with their special liveries and stuff like that. Pardon me, but to be honest, I'm not really a fan of it, bro.
It's basically it's basically a fan designed color scheme, and it was used to celebrate the 20 years as a team in Formula One. So
Yeah.
Nice occasion to celebrate it. But listen, I think Red Bull they have
It's a nice gesture. It is a nice gesture.
It's a nice gesture. It's actually not called Red White. It's called Rebel Customs. It's called
Rebel Customs.
Rebel Customs. Basically, it was handed to the most loyal supporters of the team, and it's a very special canvas in the RB20. Basically, listen, Red Bull they have a history of doing these outlandish one-off liveries. Some of them work spectacularly, I may add, and others.
Like this one, to be honest, not really a fan of it.
This one's probably in that section. It's not bad, but it isn't anything to hold.
It isn't the worst. I mean, it's alright. It's alright.
It's alright, yeah.
It's alright.
Nothing really to write home about, basically, with this livery.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into qualifying. Pretty eventful qualifying, and we've had a shock that because I think we all know which driver we're going to talk about here. But before that, Pierre Gasly had to start at the back of the grid. Now Pierre Gasly actually received a 50
place grid penalty, bro.
Jesus Christ, man.
No wonder he dipped off the Grand Prix.
And I'm trying to get the graphic in front of me to see why on earth did he got a 50-place grid penalty. And let me get it up for just a few seconds so I can tell you exactly what happened. So basically, he pretty much changed the entire the entire performance of the car, basically, with Alpine. So the reason why Gasly received a 50 place grid penalty, he received it in the first practice session of the Silverstone Grand Prix, basically. And it basically was just a change in the power unit elements: the internal combustion engine, the turbocharger, the heat motor generator unit, the kinetic motor generator unit, the third control electronics, which basically that breaches one of the articles of the sporting regulations. And those are pretty much the reasons why he
A
was
whole unit, bro. He changed the whole unit.
Yeah,
He changed the whole unit.
To cut straight to the chase, he basically changed the entire unit of the car.
The whole unit, the whole power unit.
And even
No wonder
how,
he got a 50 place grid penalty.
and even especially how his weekend turned out to be. We'll get into the race very shortly of how his race turned out to be. It was even more hilarious how it ended up as a result. So
Yeah.
listen, I think 50 place it's an outrageous penalty to
Absolutely.
to give away. But listen, if you're going to be changing half of your car, you're going to get a pretty substantial penalty, and
It is expected.
Places, I think. Listen, I think he knew that his penalty was so outrageous that he just said, "Listen, I'm just gonna dip straight away.
I'm out. I'm out." Now, according to the commentator, before the start of the race, I don't know if I should say it now.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, before the start of the race, he was on the pit. It was on the pit exit, or no. He was he on the grid? Or was he on the pit exit?
He was on the grid. Yeah.
Alright, he was on the grid, then he went into the pits. Apparently, he didn't start the race because apparently, according to the commentator, he had a gearbox issue. So he changed the whole power unit.
That's bullshit, man.
So he changed the whole power unit just to get a gearbox issue before the start of the race.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, bro.
I'm sorry, I'm not buying that because
I didn't know about the 50 place grid penalty till then. I saw.
No, I had an idea during before qualifying. Basically, I was actually thinking of sending a message to on Facebook, basically. But
I sent it to you this morning.
And you sent it to me actually this morning.
I just seen it this morning. I didn't know he had a 50 place grid penalty, bro. I didn't know.
No, but listen, I think he knew he was going to be starting the back of the grid. He just surrendered straight away. So that basically
He just dipped, bro. He said, "I'm out of here."
Back of the grid. Now, the first qualifying session had to be red flagged for a few minutes because one such driver ended up in the gravel, and that driver is, drum roll please, Sergio Perez. I mean, bro, this guy, he's on free fall at the moment, like a continuous free fall that he's keeping going downwards in like 100 miles per hour, man.
A dolphin dives straight to hell, bro.
He can't catch a break at the moment, and it's his own fault basically because.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, I know the track was wet. The weather wasn't in the best conditions, but he absolutely fumbled that.
Yeah, he fumbled he's fumbling the bag hard right now, bro.
And that contract extension curse continues, basically.
It's even looking worse. It's even looking worse.
And it's getting even worse with every single.
You know, Martin Brundle, yeah. He asked Christian Horner a very good question pre-race.
Yeah.
He told him, "Are you regretting the contract extension for Sergio Perez?" And Christian Horner told him that was a pretty good question, and he told him that at the time of the contract extension, it looked like the most logical move to make. But since then, it hasn't paid off a penny, bro. It hasn't paid off nada.
I'll get to his release clause when we talk about the race because surprise, Checo once again had a stinker of a weekend once again. I think probably even worse than last weekend in Austria. So we'll get into his release clause very later on in the episode because his release clause is actually really interesting, bro. So that's Perez back in 19th, Esteban Ocon in 18th, and Kevin Magnussen in 17th, and Valtteri Bottas in 16th. Just to get these very quickly. Bottas, no surprise, it's a sound bear.
I think with disqualifying, you know, I didn't mention this. With disqualifying, it was a bit tricky with the weather.
not just qualifying, just the entire weekend was.
Let's just mention qualifying for now. Let's just mention qualifying for now. Qualifying, it was very tricky, and I think it either played into the driver's hands or it did not.
Yes.
As we're about to see, as we're about to say as well, that a certain team finally made it out of Q1. One for one of the drivers at least.
And that is the Williams, you right?
No, that's the Sauber of Guan Yu Zhou, bro.
Ah, the Sauber Guan Yu Zhou. Ah, sorry about that. No, with the Sauber, yeah, 16, not much of a surprise there. Kevin Magnussen, the Haas in 17th. Considering how his teammate performed, underwhelming. For Kevin Magnussen, not the first time he was.
And he's the one that's still without a seat, and Hulkenberg is on his way out.
He's joined Sauber and he's joined for a project. So, yeah, right now Kevin Magnussen, he's being outperformed massively.
It's kind of suspect, bro. Kind of suspect. Can't lie.
Absolutely. And Esteban Ocon in 18. Now Alpine were on a brief surge coming into Silverstone. So 18th place and 20th. That is a massive sting in the tail for them. I mean, listen, with Gasly, his 50 place grid penalty, no surprise he ended up at the back of the grid. But
it is funny though. It is funny. I can't lie. It is. It's funny.
Yeah, with Esteban Ocon, again, 18th. I think he would be very disappointed that he didn't end up in Q2 or maybe getting into maybe 9th or 10th in Q3. But yeah, 18th. It's a step backwards for him and the team. Q2, we did more surprises in Q2 actually, who plays 11 and 12. But to get these very quickly, Daniel Ricciardo in 15th, Zhou Guanyu in 14th. Decent. I think that's his best qualifying.
A first Q2 appearance for Sauber at last.
No, not the first. I think Bottas will end up in Q2, I believe, in one of the.
Was it? Wasn't it? Was it? I don't know.
Yeah. It's not in my head at the moment on which race it was, but.
I probably forgot as well.
No, for Zhou Guanyu, definitely that's his first Q2.
Yeah, for Zhou Guanyu. I meant to say Zhou Guanyu.
Of the season.
I meant to say Zhou Guanyu.
Danny Rick, no, again another step backwards for him in 15th. Last weekend was pretty decent was a pretty decent weekend, and 15th place not good enough for him. I mean, listen, I think at this point that Danny Rick, he's just going to every single Grand Prix, and that's pretty much it basically.
Going through the motions, we say.
He's going through the motions. Yeah, that's the word for it. Yuki Tsunoda 13th again.
Not much better than Danny Rick. Let's be real.
No, outperformed his teammate. Yes, but.
And listen, it was by much actually. It was about 6-7 tenths.
Yeah, Racing Bulls at the moment they're going through a bit of a rocky phase. Unlike early on in the season where Yuki was getting into Q3, was getting some quite decent points in the bag. So yeah, right now Racing Bulls not at their best at the moment, especially how their weekend turned out and how one of their rivals scored big points. Not great for Yuki and Racing Bulls. Logan Sargent in 12th, much better. I mean, we all know. I mean, Logan Sargent is basically the American Nicolas Latifi at the moment. So, just to get him into I think my cat's shouting, man.
Yeah, he is. I'm hearing him from here.
I'll say this one, and I'll check what's wrong with him, basically, very quickly. But no, Logan Sargent, fantastic. To get into 12th place. Obviously, not in Q3. I don't think he has the ability to get into Q3 at the moment. But
who knows? He might surprise us next race, bro. I don't know.
Listen, much better for him to get into
absolutely
to get into 12th place. However, one such driver that won't be happy at all with how not just this weekend with qualifying the race is going on, but how his season is going on at the moment. Charles Leclerc, 11th. What went wrong, bro?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. All I know for sure, bro. All I know for sure is since Monaco, he used all his superpowers. He used all his superpowers from Monaco to defeat the curse of Monaco, just to have bad luck afterwards, which is crazy, bro. what practically what practically happened with Monaco, yeah. Charles Leclerc went to Monaco. After Monaco, he used all his powers practically to defeat the curse of Monaco, which now has no power left in him, and all the curse is coming back to bite him. The spirit of Benotto is alive, well and truly alive. It's a wrap, bro. At the moment, I don't know what to say about Charles Leclerc, honestly.
Sorry about that, guys. I think unfortunately, my mic just went off. Unfortunately, I had to, and I also had to deal with something just out here as well. But yeah, bro, just to get back into your point, disappointing for Leclerc.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I don't know what's wrong, honestly. All I know is it has a fucking curse at the moment. Since Monaco, it hasn't been going well. Qualifying, races, nothing has been going right for Leclerc since Monaco. The spirit of Benotto is well and truly alive as well, by the way.
And it's the other way around basically, because when we saw that Monaco was like his bogey track, this is now a different story because
Every track is becoming bogey for him.
He's won at Monaco, and now he's just going on a downward spiral at the moment. I think him and Leclerc at the moment, they're just not going. Him and Perez, excuse me.
Yeah.
Him and Perez at the moment, they're just not.
I think Perez slightly worse than Leclerc in my opinion, because at least Leclerc is getting not decent, but he is out qualifying Sergio Perez.
No, definitely.
He is out qualifying Sergio Perez. So I think Charles Leclerc is more better than Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez is far worse.
No.
But Leclerc, bro. Yeah, Perez has the more pressure than Leclerc. Leclerc is safe compared to Perez.
I wouldn't say safe. I wouldn't say he's completely safe because.
No, I think Leclerc has a contract till 2027, 2028. Yeah. So I think in my eyes he's pretty safe. He needs to perform, no doubt. He needs to. But since Monaco, man, so much has gone wrong. The tactics at Canada, Austria, the front wing. Where else? Spain, damage with Carlos Sainz. Now yesterday, last race, Silverstone, with with qualifying and the strategy of when they put him into the pits for the first pit stop.
Yeah.
4 races on the bounce.
And his race, how it turned out, was even worse as well.
Appalling, bro.
Appalling. Now we get into Q3. Even more surprised as well, especially the from 6th place onwards to 10th. Fernando Alonso finally getting into Q3. He's had a stinky run during the last couple of weeks, and to get into 10th place.
Yeah, he needed that.
He absolutely needed that, Fernando Alonso, definitely. Alex Albon in 9th. Fantastic qualifying session for him. Another much needed result, especially with how his team is performing at the moment. Williams at the moment just not going through it. They're going to have really tough time at the moment, Williams. So just to get into 9th place is a fantastic result for them. Lance Stroll in 8th, both Aston Martins in the top 10. Again, very similar to Alonso. Much needed for Lance. Carlos Sainz in 7th. That's pretty underwhelming for Ferrari, if I'm being honest. 7th and 11th, poor. Very poor.
Bro, Nico Hulkenberg finished 6th. He out-qualified both Ferraris.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
And speaking of Hulkenberg, crazy result for him to get into 6th.
Back to back.
That's
back to back.
That's back-to-back 6th place finishes.
In a Haas, by the way.
In a Haas.
And
I think Haas are going to regret that decision of relieving Hulkenberg from his racing season.
But listen, I believe Haas are in a good place still. Since Gunther Steiner, they've been quietly going about their business.
Yeah.
And they've been very consistent.
Yeah.
Maybe had a couple races here and there, but other than that, Haas have been very consistent.
Their last couple of races, they were falling a bit off the pace, but 6th place. Hulkenberg, he's had a lot of Q3 appearances, Nico Hulkenberg.
Yeah.
And fantastic
Absolutely
qualifying for him. Our top five, Oscar Piastri with the McLaren, Max Verstappen in fourth, Lando Norris in third, and the two Mercedes in first and second. George Russell on pole and Lewis Hamilton in second. And that is the first time that we've had an all British podium of a 1, 2, 3 at Silverstone. That's the very first time it happened. So talk about Rule Britannia, bro.
Oh wow!
Yo,
I
talk
was
about
rooting
Rule.
for Hamilton. I was rooting for Hamilton to get pole, but listen, he didn't get pole by about 110, 210, something like that, 171. But to see Mercedes, I'm very impressed with Mercedes
Yeah,
at the moment.
same here.
I'm so impressed. Hamilton right now must be doing Google searches on how to break a contract.
Oh, Ferrari, yeah.
At the moment, he has to, bro.
Let's see. I mean, we still have half a season to go, basically.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
no doubt. But at the moment, bro,
Mercedes are on
Mercedes are
steroids.
really looking good. It seems like the Mercedes of old, no?
Yeah.
Not as dominant, not as dominant, not as
No, no,
dominant,
they're
but
not.
but the shades are there. The shades are
No,
there.
no,
They
no.
haven't lost their edge one bit.
And even especially, I agree. I 100% agree with that. I think they are slowly catching up on McLaren and Ferrari and even Red Bull, especially with how
In
Tsunoda,
the constructors championship, because
especially.
I think on car development, I think they've caught up. I think they leapfrog Ferrari.
I wouldn't say leapfrog Ferrari, but let's see how they perform in Budapest and in Spa, because we've only had two races where Mercedes were literally on right on top. So this might be
Actually, since Canada, no,
since
Canada,
Canada, yeah.
Austria,
So
and
this might be a surge in form for these couple of races. However, let's see how the next couple of races will pan out.
let's call it a phase. Let's call it a phase. Let's call it
Let's
a
go with that
phase.
phase. But right now, Mercedes, they're going through
They're really good.
an unreal phase at the moment. So, and then we'll get into the race. Now, Silverstone is the mid point, is the middle portion of the season. So we're now halfway through the Formula One season, and pre-race, we've not only had our first look at the Formula One movie starring Brad Pitt, but there were multiple celebrities on the track. We've had Rowan Atkinson. There
That was
was
Brian May.
Sir Brian May, who waved the checkered flag as well.
Yep.
So that's
That was
amazing.
that chick Emilia Clark, was it?
Emilia Clarke, Daenerys from Game of Thrones. Long time since we last seen her on screen, basically. Um, who else was there? Simon Pegg, Rebecca
That was
Ferguson,
Hammond and Clarkson from Top Gear.
Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and James May from Top Gear. A lot of multiple. Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback for the Kansas
Yeah,
City
Patrick
Chiefs,
Mahomes.
was there as well. So loads of celebrities in the F1 grid basically before the race. Now we spoke about Pierre Gasly pre-race. Pierre Gasly didn't even start the race. He just had there was a suspected gearbox issue with his car, and he was basically forced to retire. He didn't even race
He didn't
basically.
start. He didn't start the race.
He didn't even start the race. Sergio Perez had to start from the back of the grid on the pit lane. Sorry about that. He had to start at the back of the grid, and obviously our race starts. The season so far they've been quite clean, and
Yeah,
Silverstone
was no
and
exception.
was no exception. The two Mercedes, fantastic start from both drivers.
Hamilton was cheeky in the start.
Yeah,
He defended
absolutely.
from Norris and also to help Norris escape.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
Hamilton, that was great team play by Mercedes in the start.
Yeah, perfect. And unfortunately for Lando Norris, he had a bit of a slow start, and that gave the opportunity for Max Verstappen to breeze past him basically. Now, at the back of the grid, there was a bit of contact with Alex Albon. I don't know if you watched it, bro.
The contact with Albon, I don't really remember it.
Basically, it was Alex Albon.
Yeah. Albon and Logan Sargent passed him, yeah. And
Made
was
Colin
it
Diaz.
turn 3, turn 4, was it?
Yeah, one of the early
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I think one of the drivers went wide.
yeah.
Albon tried to evade it, or he got contact and then pushed onto Logan Sargent and Logan Sargent as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I
And
seen that. Yeah, I seen that.
and he also made contact with the Aston Martin of either Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso. I'm not quite. I believe it was I believe it was Fernando Alonso.
I believe it was Alonso. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do believe it was
Now,
Alonso.
now the it was already looking overcast before the start of the race, and a lot of and it was forecast that rain was going to arrive around the early stages of the race. Now, we did see a couple of overtakes before the rain kicked into gear, but it was right around after shortly after lap 17 where the rain started to get where the rain started to affect to affect the race basically. We saw that with Oscar Piastri getting breeze past Max on lap 17. So and every single car on the track were on mediums basically, and that is where the race starts to get really really intriguing because by lap 17 and also by lap 18, Hamilton got past George Russell to take the lead of the race, and a lap later both the Mercedes cars went off the track, and that gave pretty much Lando the two McLarens
A
in
chance to swoop right into first and second.
yeah, in striking distance basically, and Lando basically got the better out of George
The
Russell straight
grip, the
away.
grip, the grip that McLaren was having when the rain started falling down was insane.
Yeah, absolutely
That was
insane.
insane grip, bro.
Obviously now it's Hamilton was a bit more difficult to breeze past him because Hamilton in the rain, he has the skill to do that in the rain. I think George lacks a little bit behind when it comes to the rain, but that didn't last long because on lap 20, Lando absolutely bullet. He basically breezed past Hamilton to go to take the lead. And a few moments later, Oscar Piastri basically gave basically went past the two Mercedes. Now, in the midst of all that action, Leclerc went into the pits and went for intermediates. And listen,
Bro, man.
eventually, every single car on the track went for intermediates. But for
Yeah, but
me,
it was way too early, bro.
that was way too early. I think
Way too
Ferrari.
early. Even Perez, they did it with Perez, bro. Red Bull did
Yeah,
it with Perez.
for me both Perez and Leclerc they did their pit stops far too early because the
They
track was
fumbled.
still
They fumbled.
dry.
They fumbled it again with Leclerc, bro. Same as Canada.
And once again, I think listen, Ferrari. We all thought that Ferrari were moving on from those mistakes, and it's coming back to haunt them basically, with the intermediates, and
The
that
spirit of
became
Benotto, bro.
the spirit of Binotto, the high and mighty Binotto. But anyhow, so that basically for Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez, they pulled they did their pit stops on intermediates far too early, and their
Yeah.
race was pretty much fucked
Yeah, it was
from
over
there
for
on
them
in.
both.
It was way over for them because the track it was still very dry.
Bone dry.
It was bone dry. There were obviously parts of the track where there was a lot of rain kicking into gear, but the rain really made and really really changed the race by lap 25 26 because Verstappen went by lap 27, sorry, because Max Verstappen and Carlos Sainz went for intermediates, and the rest of the track, and then when it came to Mercedes, they did their pit stops a lap later. Now, Mercedes double stacked, and McLaren didn't. And that was, for me, the first mistake for McLaren this weekend.
I mentioned this to you before we start the episode on why they
Yeah.
didn't double stack. Even the commentator himself said it.
Mm.
For McLaren to double stack, since McLaren were 1 and 2 at the moment, Piastri had to let off the gas a bit to give some space to Norris so they can have enough time between one another for the double stack. Because they were too close to each other, they were going to lose a chunk of time if they
But
went.
even but listen, even with what they did, Piastri that basically ruled Piastri out from winning the race and getting a podium.
Piastri had to let go a bit for the double stack. That's what they had to do.
But that
Even
pretty
Brundle
much
himself said it.
but that pretty much that pretty much costed him an opportunity to get into the podium places, and that's not the first time that Oscar Piastri got pretty much shafted in a race. The first obviously what happened previously was his fault, but he exceeded track limits. But with this, I believe it was another missed opportunity for Oscar Piastri because after that he was setting out fast lap times and that car was mega quick as well.
Yeah, but he had
Now,
clean air in front of him, bro.
yeah,
He had
yeah,
he
I
had clean
agree.
air in front of him. So
Yeah, fair enough, I guess. Now, on lap 34, now George Russell, we spoke about George Russell that he got a pole position in his home race, but unfortunately on lap 34, he was forced
man,
he was forced to retire from the race
that was gut wrenching, bro.
due to a hydraulic water issue, which is a pretty weird, pretty ironic that it was raining and he got a hydraulic water issue, but that was you have to feel for George Russell because
Man,
this is such that this race was a gold opportunity for George Russell to not get in, not just get in the podium, but to get a back to back a race with the
back to
second
back
McLaren,
victories.
back to back victories, which were very very unfortunate for him to retire
Absolutely,
from the
bro.
race.
Listen, what Leclerc was back in the day with the Monaco
Yeah,
curse, Russell has the Silverstone curse.
yeah, I
Russell
agree.
has the Silverstone curse, bro.
You
And
have
it
to feel
is
for
gut
him, man.
wrenching, man. It was gut wrenching for George Russell.
Yeah, it
Absolutely.
is. Due to no fault of his own, by the way, because
Absolutely.
listen,
Which it makes it even worse.
we're gonna get into our drive of the days later on, but we're not gonna give Russell the loser of the day
No,
because
absolutely not. He doesn't
absolutely not
deserve to, bro. Nah.
because that's not his fault at all,
I think I
and
already know who my loser of the day is gonna be.
even mine as well. But
It's a toss up between two, but I think I know who I'm gonna give it to.
yeah, but we get back to George Russell. Very very unfortunate for him to miss out to retire from the race basically. Now a few laps later, the rain stopped, and that pretty much gave the opportunity for the drivers to change their tires. Now, Hamilton went for softs, but Max Verstappen went for hards, and that was a smart decision for Max because was a smart decision for Max. Lando had to, now this is where we made our second mistake of the weekend because we're going to get into McLaren very very quickly, but um, Lando did his pit stop a lap later, and not only that was the first mistake. The second mistake was he positioned the car poorly, and
Very.
he went for softs, which
Which,
which
would
which
you,
didn't pay
you were
off.
you were the only team that had mediums available, by the way, from the top five.
And we could have gone for mediums as well because we did that for Oscar Piastri and we didn't do that for Lando Norris, and that costed Lando another race. Because listen, yes, we got into the podium. We finished third and fourth in the race. Yes, we closed the gap on Ferrari. We're now just 7 points behind. But I gotta be honest, we bottled that race because we were in
That's
such a
back to back, though, bro.
that's back to back. Listen,
Back to back.
the first one was a driver error, and this weekend was a mix
Was a
of
team
everything.
was
Was a
a
mix
team
of
error
everything.
more. I'd give it more as a team error because the calls were good. Actually, no. I think it's
No,
a team
no,
error and a
no.
driver error.
Listen,
I agree with
for
you.
me, for me. Sorry to interrupt you there, bro. But for me, the team did did three big mistakes for me that costed us to win the race. The first was the double stacking. You can obviously argue with me on that one on any day of the week, but for me,
Yeah,
they sh-
I think you should have double stacked, but in
we
order to double
should
stack,
yeah, we should have double stacked. We should have double stacked because if we had double stacked, we had given we should, Oscar Piastri would have been in the podium places, and he would also have been in the chance of winning the race as well. Because listen, our car is quick. We all know that
yeah.
McLaren is mega quick. It is as probably the second quickest car, if not the quickest car of the entire grid, on par with Red Bull, and even better than Mercedes and Ferrari at the moment with how our season is going.
I wouldn't even put us
But
in the conversation at the moment,
was
to
a
be
conversation in
honest.
a moment. But um, the first mistake was double stacking. The second mistake is that we pitted Lando a lap later. We should have pitted Lando on the same lap as Hamilton and Verstappen lap. The third mistake was that we positioned the car that Lando positioned the car poorly, and we went for the soft compound tires instead of the mediums, which the mediums were the go-to tires to go for the track. And apparently, that was Lando's decision to go with the softs and not the team. So if that really is Lando's decision, I'm sorry, that's his responsibility, and at least he admitted that he showed the responsibility for that, and that's another race where we did a spares basically. We bottled it. That's another race.
That's back to back. That's back to back
And
races.
and that's back to back because of this. Listen,
Different reasons, but it's still.
listen. The good news is we got considerable points in the bag, but the bad news is we should have won that race. We were in a great position to win that race, especially with how the first few laps were going for the drivers. Unfortunate, very frustrating.
Very unlucky, bro.
We end up in this situation, but and even considering how Mercedes performed, because Mercedes, on the other hand, what a weekend for them, man.
Oh,
Listen,
absolutely, bro.
George Russell.
Apart from the George Russell, apart from the unfortunate of George Russell, the incident, that he had to retire. Other than that, I think it is a very much a weekend to remember, and rightfully so. Not just for Mercedes fans, but even for the winners fans as well.
For the winners fans as well. But listen, and it wasn't smooth sailing for
Not at all.
For Hamilton,
Not at all.
because Max, we mentioned Max fitting for hard compound tires, and that paid off big time because Max, he was gaining on both Norris and Hamilton big time. It was basically it was going to become a three-way race for the win, basically.
It was at one point.
It was at one point because by that 48, Max completely bodied Lando for second place, and there was a bit of suspicion that Max could be in the hunt for winning the race, but unfortunately that came a little bit too late. Lewis managed to hold on, and Hamilton won the race. That's his first race win since Qatar in 2021. That's almost 3 years, bro.
Jeddah, bro. That was Saudi Arabia, I believe.
In Saudi Arabia, no. Yeah, in Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
In Saudi Arabia, actually, yeah. That was his last ever race win in a race. So what an event to mark that streak of not winning any races in your
104 career race wins. Many people even said that he wouldn't win another race in his life.
Yeah, he's proved. Listen, Hamilton this season, he's had a tough season. He's had a very tough season. This is his final season with Mercedes. It's his swan song. So he has nothing to lose but to win a race in those conditions and at home soil.
After so long, the stars aligned. The stars aligned. It was meant to be. And by the way, the Nico Rosberg curse is broken as well.
No, Nico actually got his predictions spot on, actually.
So the Nico Rosberg curse is broken because every time he said that this person is gonna win the race, he wouldn't win the race.
Yeah, but
his curse is broken as well.
But he got it spot on, actually, because Hamilton actually won the race. And Lewis, listen, that's his 104th race win, the most wins in a driver of all time. And that's his 9th win. That's a record-breaking 9th win in Silverstone, which is an outrageous stat.
Absolutely, chapeau, bro.
And Hamilton was very, very emotional. He was crying, actually.
Yeah, he was absolutely crying. Rightfully so. I was about. So. It was a tearjerker. I was gonna cry with him, bro. It was a tearjerker.
Listen, I'm very disappointed that my team fumbled that race, but at the same time, I'm very happy that Lewis won. Listen,
we were horrible. We were horrible, bro. Ferrari were horrible. Yes, Sainz finished 4th, I believe. Yeah, Sainz finished 4th.
No,
did he?
No,
Sainz finished 5th. Sainz finished 5th. Sorry, Sainz finished 5th. Leclerc nowhere to be seen because Ferrari fumbled his pit stop. But I was rooting for Lewis Hamilton all the way.
And listen, that might be also a bit of an audition for Ferrari next season as well.
No, the funny thing is, yeah, because when Hamilton was announced for Ferrari, I never debated about his, let's say, desire belief, hungerness. I never doubted that about Lewis
No,
Hamilton. And
absolutely.
and even more so now after Silverstone. We know what he can do. We know he's a great diver. Give him a great car and he will deliver because he is a fucking winner, bro.
Listen now, and he's one of the greatest of all time,
Absolutely.
if not the greatest of all time, for a reason. And he's in that debate. For me, my personal greatest of all time will always be Ayrton Senna, but Hamilton is top five.
Right. Top five, I reckon top three.
Or top three, absolutely
For
top
me,
three.
for me is
He's won it all.
Senna, Schumacher, and Hamilton.
Hamilton. And listen, he might be in his late 30s, but we never doubted him.
Absolutely no.
We never doubted the guy.
Bro, to even stay there 2 years not winning a race, he should have retired. He has nothing to prove, bro.
Yeah, this weekend he proved that he still has it. He still has
No,
it.
absolutely.
I mean, don't call it a comeback, bro, because
No, it's
because
not. It's not. It's not.
I
It's
mean,
not.
he has the ability. We all know how world class and elite he is as a driver, and uh, and
Form
also
is temporary, but class is
class is
permanent, bro.
permanent. Class is permanent, yeah. And he's our driver of the day. No debate,
Yeah,
bro.
no doubt. No
Driver,
debates. No
no,
debates.
no,
And even so, not just he won the race, but even it was a superb drive as well. With those tricky conditions.
it was a brilliant performance from him, to be fair.
Absolutely. It was a champion's drive. The
Yeah,
Hamilton of old, so to speak.
and that is back-to-back wins for Mercedes. They
Yeah.
are right now. Mercedes are on fire at the moment. I
And
mean,
and that's the sixth different driver to win this season.
yeah. So at
That's
least it's
more
another
that's
one up.
more that's more that's more I believe than 2022 and 2023 combined.
Yeah, definitely. At least the sport is back. At least we
Yeah,
do have.
thank God,
Thank
bro.
God
We
for
we
that.
expect first two races. We expected a much more boring much more boring season than last season. But thank God, it's
No,
not
no,
the
I'm
case.
relieved. I'm relieved. I'm so
Thank
relieved
God.
about that actually because and it's well and listen, it's a win for the fans as well because
Absolutely. This is what we want to see, bro. This is
listen,
what we want to see.
when Hamilton used to dominate, we used to be we everyone used to be like fed up of Hamilton
Uh,
for winning,
yeah.
but it was so great to see to see him back, not just on the podium, but to win a race as well. And shout out to the kid as well who interviewed Hamilton that he got his prediction spot on because he wanted Hamilton to win and he got his prediction spot on. So well done to Mercedes, well done to Hamilton, fully deserved winner and a fully deserved driver of the day. And Max Verstappen finished in second, just 1.465 seconds behind, not too far away from Lewis. But yeah, with Red Bull again, a bit frustrating that of not winning another race,
But they made great calls, though, bro. Again,
but they got the cause
they made great
perfectly.
calls again. They made great
Yeah,
calls again.
I mean that's what
Couple
we're
more
getting.
laps, couple more laps, and he would have got Hamilton. But
Another fight.
if there were fewer laps, he wouldn't get past Norris. So you
Yeah,
can't really say
definitely.
that.
Yeah,
Can't
I
really say
agree.
that.
I agree. And even to start to start behind the two Mercedes and the McLarens as well. And one of the McLarens, excuse me. This is this was a decent weekend for Max. He may not be winning races at the moment, but that's again
But he's
he's extended
consistently in the points.
consistently in the points. I mean, he's extended his lead once again in the drivers' championship. So, nothing much to say with regards to Max Verstappen. The two McLarens, third and fourth, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. On paper, it's more points in the back for us, but as I mentioned before, this was not a great weekend for
Could have been
us.
better. Could have been
Could have
better.
better. And listen, a couple of years ago, we used to say, if it was a few seasons ago or last year, we would have said that listen, a podium is superb for us. So that shows us the progress we've made as a team on the whole. But very frustrating. We threw that race again. We threw away another race, unfortunately. And let's hope we don't repeat those mistakes again. At least Lando shouldered responsibility for that. But listen, it's another podium for us. It's more points. We're only 7 points behind Ferrari
Y'all,
as well.
y'all still on the right track, though, bro. Y'all still on the right track.
But
I'm expecting next season you really put on the charge.
no, I'm expecting the season to be honest, bro. I mean,
No,
we're
listen.
consistently.
This season you're good, but next season is when you really kick on.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
Same with Mercedes, by the way.
Um, Carlos Sainz in 5th. Ferrari had a poor weekend in January, to be honest.
Hey,
I mean,
the only reason I'm happy with Ferrari is that these Sainz got the fastest lap.
yeah, and he did a pit stop because he wanted to take the fastest lap because
Yeah, absolutely. That's the reason why.
he was so far behind. He was basically on his own in 5th place. So
Exactly. So he could have.
to get the fastest lap. I agree with that. Nico Hulkenberg in 6th place.
If it's
Back
not
to
Lewis
back.
Hamilton, driver of the day,
Nico
I would
Hulkenberg.
easily give it to Nico Hulkenberg.
Wow.
Easily.
What this is
Back to back
sensational.
6 places for Hulkenberg, bro.
This is sensational stuff for Haas and Nico Hulkenberg as well, because to get back-to-back 6th-place finishes and to outscore your rivals, they've not just outscored their rivals, they are closing the gap on Racing Bulls. So this
Yeah.
is, again, as I mentioned before, they are going about their business at the moment. And
Since the start of the year.
Nico Hulkenberg is carrying that team. I've said it time and time again. He is carrying that Haas at the moment, on fire at the moment. And
Absolutely.
it's so great to see. So great to see.
Absolutely, bro.
The two Aston Martins in 7th and 8th, much needed for them, considering that the last couple of races
they've been very poor.
They've been very poor outside the points. So to get
Sorry.
six points in the bag, decent. Alex Albon in 9th, 2 points, and crucial 2 points in the back for them.
Absolutely.
And Yuki Tsunoda getting that final point in 10th. So
back in the points. Back in the points for Yuki.
It's 1 point, but it's a crucial point. Finishing outside the points, Logan Sargent just a bit unlucky to finish outside the points. You hear me, bro? By the way.
Yeah, I'm hearing you, bro. Loud and clear.
Yeah, perfectly. Okay. Kevin Magnussen in 12th, Daniel Ricciardo in 13th, Charles Leclerc in 14th, backlapped as well. We'll get into Charles Leclerc very soon, bro. Valtteri Bottas in 15th, Esteban Ocon in 16th, Sergio Perez in 17th, Zhou Guanyu in 18th, and George Russell and Pierre Gasly retired from the race. All right, so our driver of the day is going to be
Lewis Hamilton, easy.
But losers of the day, it's a
Charles Leclerc and Ferrari.
For me, it's a toss between him or Sergio Perez. For me,
I'm gonna go with Charles Leclerc and Ferrari, bro.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Charles Leclerc and Ferrari. That was abysmal. Who made the call, bro? Who made the call? Who was he? And you know, just today, Franco Cardile, or what's his name, left the chassis department from the team.
Wow.
Yeah, I just saw it today that he gave his notice and he's leaving the team. Does that open the door to Adrian Newey?
Not sure. Nah, I mean, Adrian Newey he has control of the entire car, not just the chassis. So
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. I don't know, bro. We need him, bro, more than ever. We're desperate.
Listen. This was a poor weekend for Ferrari. Mercedes.
This was a poor weekend, bro. 4 poor weekends on the bounce since Monaco.
Another one, but this one, I think, this one's even worse because again, Leclerc. They've absolutely destroyed Leclerc. I mean, even in his press conference, the kid looks absolutely destroyed at the moment.
Yeah.
And you can't blame him because the pit stop, again, it was far too early.
We went so backwards, bro. We went so backwards since Monaco.
Yeah, I agree.
Backwards.
I agree because again, if they made that pit stop on the same lap as the top drivers did, as the top drivers pitted, he would have been in the points definitely.
Yeah, no doubt.
Pretty much fumbled the race. That's on the Ferrari on the Ferrari strategy team yet again. Their strategies.
They fumbled the bag, bro.
They fumbled it unfortunately yet again.
The spirit of Benotto, bro.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go with Leclerc because I don't want to get with the same pick. My pick is Sergio Perez, man.
It is rightful. But Sergio Perez, if I have to give him loser of the day, is because of that qualifying session.
No, but
Charles Leclerc, not only did he have a terrible qualifying session, but he also had a terrible race and a terrible call from Ferrari.
Yeah, I agree. But with Sergio
even more, he had a great start, bro. Leclerc had a great start from 11 to 8. You was in the points position, bro. Why
But
did we fumble it? Why?
it was because it's because of the team. It's because of the team. But with Sergio Perez,
Because fucking Ferrari, bro. Sorry for swearing.
nah, you can swear whatever you like, bro. But anyhow, my
I'm just
pick
pissed,
is
bro.
my pick is Sergio. No, I don't blame you. I'm even pissed as well as my team. But the difference is we got points, and you only got with Carlos Sainz.
We got fucking nothing.
Carlos Sainz, but
yeah, whatever.
Here's why I'm gonna go with Sergio Perez because again, he continues to. This is a continuation of his downward spiral at the moment, and I'm gonna go into his release clause very quickly because his release clause, with his contract clause, is very interesting stuff because it says that Sergio Perez must improve his performance before the summer break because Red Bull they can activate his contract clauses to remove him from his seat despite extending his contract. That surprising from Red Bull.
If that's not
But
if that's not added pressure, I don't know what is.
yeah, I agree. The clause also includes not being more than 100 points behind Verstappen after the Belgian Grand Prix. Right now, he's 119 points behind. More than 119 points behind, actually, because not
Yeah.
after this Grand Prix. Perez is also required to be within 5 places of Verstappen in the standings. He is currently in 5th. Since the Miami Grand Prix, Perez, he's only scored 11 points, and that includes 5 races and a sprint race, which is terrible. I mean, the fact that Nico Hulkenberg got more points than him at this stage, that is
In a
embarrassing.
Haas.
In a Haas.
Out qualified by Logan Sargent in a Williams.
And not only that, that's opening the door of Ferrari, on McLaren, and on Mercedes to close the gap on
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 the con- yeah.
on, the, on Red Bull with the constructors championship. So
You know what baffles me, bro? Though you know what
this is
baffles me.
shocking.
You know what baffles me the most is all these clauses, yet they still gave him a 2-year deal.
I can't understand. For me, listen, even when it
That's
was
what baffles
announced,
me the most.
even when the news
If
was
it was
announced,
a 1-year deal, you can understand that. But all these clauses and a 2-year deal.
for me it was
What if
fishy.
they break his contract? What if they break his contract? They need to pay him off for the remainder of his contract, which means more money.
I agree. No, for me, this has always been a fishy move from Red Bull because I just can't get why they extended his contract because from since then he's been abysmal, Sergio
Yeah,
Perez. I mean,
absolutely.
continuously abysmal, as I may add as well. But and for me, he's my loser of the day because he is just not good enough at the moment. And for me, listen, he may well has extended his contract at the moment, but he's in danger because if he continues at this rate, I think that they have to make a decision here, Red Bull, with regards to what they're doing with the seat. Might listen. I'm not surprised that they'll pick Danny Rick to replace him. I won't be surprised. I won't be
I don't know
surprised.
about that, bro, but I think they go from bad to worse if they go with Danny Rick instead of Sergio Perez, in my
I don't know.
opinion.
I don't know. But for me, Perez is my loser of the day because
If they're gonna go with that, if they replace Danny Rick, if they're gonna replace Sergio Perez with Danny Rick, to me that's just a vibes move, bro.
no, definitely,
That's
absolutely.
that's just a
They're
vibes move to
they're
me.
they're they're there for the vibes, definitely. Yeah. So yours is Leclerc and mine is Perez for loser of the day.
Yeah.
Clown of the day and dick of the day. We really don't have a pick.
Ferrari for clown of the day.
Yeah, I agree. No, actually, I do agree. Ferrari are mine.
Ferrari for clown of the day. Yeah.
And the dick, we don't have any dicks.
No, we haven't any dicks today. No dicks. No dicks
Pause.
today.
Pause. Pause.
Pause.
Pause.
Hella
Pause.
pause, bro. Hella pause. No sausages.
No,
Pause,
no, no.
bro.
That's fucking outrageous. Anyhow, yeah, that is the Silverstone Grand Prix, guys. Fantastic weekend, probably the best alongside Canada. And let's hope
Easily.
that our next Grand Prix is the same as that. Max Verstappen retains, keeps his first place in the driver's signs with 255 points. Lando Norris remains in second with 171 points. Charles Leclerc remains in third with 150 points. Carlos Sainz in fourth with 146 points. Oscar Piastri in fifth with 124 points. Sergio Perez remains in sixth with 118 points. The two Mercedes in 7th and 8th with George Russell and Lewis Hamilton with 111 points and 110 points respectively. Fernando Alonso in 9th with 45 points. And Lance Stroll in 10th with 23 points. Gonna say just the top 10 for today. Because those are the ones we have to care about the most.
Exactly.
We look at the constructors. Red Bull remain on top with 373 points. Ferrari remain in second with 302 points, but as I mentioned just now, McLaren are only 7 points behind.
Yeah,
with
you are right
200
on
and
Ferrari's asses,
right
bro.
on Ferrari's
McLaren.
arses with 295 points. Mercedes in fourth with 221 points. They are slowly catching up on us and Ferrari at the moment.
That top four is surprisingly pretty close.
Yeah, very close. It's
And it's great to
close,
see.
actually.
And it's great to see, by the way.
I agree. In fifth, we have Aston Martin with 68 points. Significant gap there between those two teams.
Absolutely.
Racing Bulls in sixth with 31 points, but Haas are just 4 points behind them with 27 points. Alpine in 8th with 9 points, Williams in 9th with 4 points, and Sauber remain scoreless at the bottom of the grid.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that is it. That is the end of this episode. Hope you enjoyed listening to us. Our next episode is not next week, a bit of a short break for us after that triple header weekend, but in 2 weeks' time, where we head into Budapest in Hungary. And from there, we thank you so much, guys, for listening to us. And
absolutely, bro. Absolutely, always, man.
And let us know your thoughts on each episode, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, and even Facebook as well.
Much appreciated. Much
we really
appreciated.
Appreciate that. And from there, it's goodbye, and hope you have a great week ahead. Peace.
Absolutely. Take care, guys. Good night.
Good night.
One love.